Wherapy. Therapy wherever, whenever.
Good morning, everyone. It's 5:45 a.m. in a cold and dark Sweden. I've already made my coffee today. I know I usually make my coffee when I'm talking to you and introducing the podcast, but we're doing things differently today simply because I forgot about it. Today, we're going to talk about whether or not pursuing your dreams can affect your mental health, and how it would look like and what we can do about it. And at the end of the podcast, I'm going to reveal 3 countries, of which I'm going to offer one free therapy session to one person from those countries. So stay tuned to the very end. Here we go. So, the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to how pursuing your purpose in life can affect your mental health is the motivating factors. For those of you who watch my videos or listen to my podcasts or read my articles, you will know that I talk a lot about inner conflict. And inner conflict can form in 3 different ways, and one of those ways is a motivating factor versus reality. For those of you who are watching the video, you can see the whiteboard here. Yeah, we have a motivating factor that is making us happy. And we have a reality that is making us unhappy. And the motivating factor, in many cases, I see it a lot of times on social media, is the kind of hustling lifestyle that we have become quite accustomed to. We are meant to be entrepreneurs. We are meant to have our own product or our own service, and we're meant to work for it 24/7. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And if we do so, as long as we hustle, we will get the rewards. Yeah, we will have maybe our freedom to choose our schedule. We may have an economic independence, which we never actually have because we're always dependent on our economy. There are just different ways of earning the money, but the ways of earning money can also be disrupted, even though they're not dependent on a normal 9-to-5 job. Yeah? But that's a side fact. Yeah? We also kind of assume that the entrepreneurial lifestyle will also give us some sort of respect and also give us some sort of lavish lifestyle that we wouldn't otherwise have been afforded. Yeah. Sorry, I've had a cold this week. That is why my voice is so strange right now. Yeah. But so we have this notion, this motivating factor that I just talked about. Yeah. And this is something which is quite common nowadays, the entrepreneur hustler lifestyle, and we see it a lot in posts. Yeah. And then we, sorry again, we look at the reality of our daily life. We might be working towards that goal, but we are not achieving that goal in the moment. We are not living the lavish lifestyle. We are still dependent on an economy. We're working a normal 9-to-5 job alongside that entrepreneur job that we are doing, or alongside our pursuit of entrepreneurship. And we are also not kind of free to choose our own schedule, not kind of getting that respect that we think that we should. Yeah, we're not up there on stage talking about our job and our passion in life. We are not being seen in the way that we should be seen. Yeah? And the difference here is what is creating the conflict. Yeah, the conflict is only created in relation where the motivating factor is related to reality. Yeah, if we were achieving our dreams and if we were if we were fulfilling our motivating factor, then our reality would also be quite happy, and there wouldn't be an inner conflict, and we wouldn't be depressed. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, when we aren't, we become depressed. Yeah. And at the beginning, we can be seen as we're in the beginning phase of it all, and therefore it might take some time for us to fall into a depression. But the longer we work towards our motivating factor and are not achieving it, the higher the likelihood of a depression coming, yeah, or us becoming depressed, yeah. And there's two ways of changing this, yeah. One is changing our motivating factor from the end result to the process, yeah. And this is something that a lot of motivational speakers talk about, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs or successful entrepreneurs or successful career men or women, or men or women pursuing careers talk about, is enjoying the process of it all and having that as a motivating factor and not having an end game. Yeah. That would take the reality aspect away from the conflict, yeah, because we are kind of enjoying our reality, and therefore there isn't an inner conflict between our motivating factor and reality, and therefore we are happy, yeah. And the other way is to think about what is motivating us, yeah. A lot of the time, we are motivated by things that we ourselves don't hold true or don't really feel are motivating, rather what other people think that we should feel is motivating. Yeah. And this is the case of a lot of people, I think, who are pursuing careers, who are trying to be maybe some sort of social media celebrity, or pursuing entrepreneurship with some sort of product that maybe they're not actually that interested in. Yeah, they're more interested in the entrepreneurial lifestyle or they're interested in the social media celebrity lifestyle, or they're interested in the lifestyle or the respect associated with a certain career, but they're not interested in the actual subject matter. Yeah, they're more interested in how other people see people in that career, because they themselves see people who are entrepreneurs, or see people who are social media celebrities, or see people who are successful in a career as somebody worth respect, and they want that respect. So the motivating factor is respect rather than the actual thing that they are doing. Yeah. And that is in and of itself something that will maybe create a reality that is always going to be in conflict with the motivating factor, yeah, because you're always going to feel like you don't get as much respect as you want. So changing that focus from being respect, or like focused, the motivating factor rather, sorry, from being one of achieving respect through these means to something else, to being something that is more genuine, associated to what you want and what you believe in. Yeah. A motivating factor could be having a happy family life, or having a good life day to day and being satisfied with that. Yeah, it could be something quite simple. Yeah, changing it to something more simple and more genuine and more related to you, rather than how you want to be perceived by society and your friends and your family, is a key element to, absolving or taking away that inner conflict. Yeah. And that's how you would feel a lot better. Yeah. And that is how you will ultimately get rid of your poor mental health if you are somebody who is in this situation. Another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to how pursuing your dreams can affect your mental health is the thing that some of us have to face, and a lot of us kind of have to struggle with, namely the thought of giving up on your dreams. Yeah, this is a reality for a lot of us. Yeah, and now we in the time of I noticed that I'm talking about social media a lot, but the kind of if we just look away from social media for the time being and just think about the kind of society as a whole, the notion of never giving up, keep on going even through the darkest of times, that ethos that we are instilled with, and it's a virtue that is very admirable, and that it's quite understandable that society does encourage us to do so. But there are cases where giving up could be the perfectly sensible thing to do. Yeah. And a lot of people who make that sensible choice are left with a great big feeling of shame. Yeah. They not only are they sad that they haven't fulfilled the goals that they expected to fulfill, but the taboo nature of giving up has left them with a lot of shame on top of that, on top of that sadness, yeah. And this mixed together creates depression in the person in question. And I think there are many reasons why it would be perfectly understandable to give up, yeah, especially in the aforementioned section, or in the previous section of this podcast, when I talked about the different motivating factors and what is motivating you to pursue a dream, and how wrong that can be. If you have a motivating factor that isn't right, then the lure of giving up it becomes stronger, obviously, if it's not going to plan, because this isn't really what you genuinely wanted to do in the first place. So the thought of giving up can create a lot of depression in a person in many different ways. Yeah, there's obviously the sadness of giving up on a dream, and there's always also, the sense of shame associated with it. And it's maybe that will also kind of the shame of giving up becomes too strong, so we avoid giving up and we keep on pursuing and keep on grinding after this dream that we're no longer really motivated to fulfill, but we do so out of an obligation to society. It's again thinking about how society looks at us. Yeah, we don't want to be seen as the person who gives up. So even if we don't really aren't really motivated or don't really feel like this is our dream anymore, we keep on going because we know that our father or mother said that we were quitters, or our friends always knew that we were going to give up or weren't good enough, or that ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend of ours didn't really believe in us. So we keep on going stubbornly just to prove a point, and that creates an inner conflict. We're in a situation that we don't really want to be in. Yeah? The reality is that we're unhappy, and we don't want to continue to be that. Yeah, we're motivated by pursuing happiness, but the stigma around quitting makes it difficult for us. Yeah. So there are many different things that factor into this, as you can hear. Yeah. And on the other side of the coin, there are a lot of people who might quit too early. Yeah. That kind of pursuing and being a little bit more stubborn in your ways can be quite a good thing. So quitting too early can also kind of obviously create feeling of low self-esteem, low belief in your ability, that kind of motivates quitting even earlier, and therefore we do so and we feel even worse. So it's kind of a vicious circle there, and that creates the depression. Yeah, we're not good at anything. We're never going to be good enough. But the first point I made about the stigma around quitting, the sense of shame associated with it, is definitely, I think, the aspect of quitting that not a lot of people talk about. Yeah, and it's very fascinating how it creates a depression in us. Yeah, because a lot of people aren't pursuing their dreams. A lot of people aren't even. A lot of people quit often. Yeah, but still there is a shame in it. Still, we kind of expect ourselves to pursue the career or the lifestyle or our entrepreneurial goals, even if we've kind of lost our love for them. Yeah, and I'm not saying that we should learn how to quit easier. Yeah, but the key is to look at our motivating factor. Yeah, is our motivating factor left? Is it still there? If our motivating factor is there, if we enjoy the process of doing the work and we love what we're doing, then there's no point quitting, because we haven't got the result that we wanted, because we shouldn't be focused on the end goal. Yeah. But if we're not actually enjoying what we're doing, yeah, if the motivating factor is created by the expectations that society has of us, or the people around us have of us, rather than being set by ourselves, then our motivation is going to be quite low, and it will be perfectly fine to quit if that's the case. Yeah, and that's where we go back to the first point I made in this podcast of having a motivation that is more genuine to ourselves rather than the expectations of society. Yeah. Imagine pursuing a goal doggedly, which is set by somebody else. We're pursuing an entrepreneurial goal, a career goal, because we think that society will respect us if we're a lawyer, or society will respect us if we're a successful entrepreneur, and we keep on going, keep on working to achieve that goal, and we're nowhere near achieving that goal because we're not really motivated, then obviously it will be perfectly fine to quit. But if we don't, we're going to be trapped in an endless cycle of depression and poor mental health. Another aspect that affects mental health when pursuing your dreams and your desires in life is the illusion of control. Now, I've talked about this in a previous podcast entitled Causes of Depression Unique to Men, but it's also obviously applicable to anyone in this case. Yeah, the notion of having control over your own destiny, that's something that we, I think particularly in the West, believe that we have. Yeah, and I think it's a notion that's also propagated by social media. Now, I know that this podcast is going in and talking a lot about social media, but I think we see that a lot of people claim that as long as you work hard, as long as you grind, and as long as you keep on going and never give up, then you will achieve your dreams. Yeah, and those who haven't achieved their dreams have simply not worked hard enough, not or they have decided to give up rather. Yeah. They haven't worked hard enough, they haven't continued to fight, they have poor discipline, and they are maybe lazy. Yeah, that's the kind of notion that they put out there. And the actual fact, yeah, reality of the situation is that there are many things that are outside of our control. Yeah, even if we're somebody who is working for ourselves, or somebody who's in a quite high position at work. Yeah, there will always be somebody else who will be affecting us in one way or another. It could be clients, the lack of clients, politicians, new laws and new rules. It can also be having a boss that doesn't really like you, or there can also be non-human factors. Yeah, there could be economic factors. Yeah, you might have a dream that you want to pursue, but you don't have the economy to sustain a longer pursuit of that dream. Or there might be social factors as well, yeah. Or might be kind of other things that um, are more important in the moment, that come up out of the blue. There might have happened something to a member of your family, and you have to take care of them and set your dream to the side. Yeah, and this doesn't mean that you have given up. Yeah, but as people kind of who are entrepreneurs, who kind of set out on the, or have recently set out on the journey of fulfilling themselves, the kind of top of Maslow's hierarchy, self-actualization, yeah, wanting the career not for the sake of the money, but for the sake of self-actualization, yeah. Those people often believe that they are in control of their own destiny, yeah. And we can see this in some cases in the commercials that are meant to inspire us, or social media posts. Never give up, you are in control of your own destiny. Yeah. And in a lot of cases, we're not. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that we shouldn't work hard and try our best, but we should also have a sense of acceptance concerning that fact, that there could be other things that are affecting us that we have no control over. And we must accept them, yeah, because if we don't, we have another inner conflict. Yeah. We have an inner conflict between our urge to make our dreams come true and a reality where we are not making our dreams come true because there are external factors affecting us. Yeah. And our unwillingness to see those external factors, because we are instilled with the notion of being the masters of our own destiny, will kind of make us see ourselves as the person that, or the thing that is wrong in the situation. Yeah, I'm not successful because of myself. Yeah, because I haven't tried enough, because I decided to give up. Yeah. And this creates a sense of shame that leads to a depression. Yeah, being the person that has given up, being the person that couldn't like bear the fight any longer and decided not to pursue their dreams anymore. And if we look at it this way, we assert the blame on ourselves, and we take the blame away from all the other aspects that are affecting our lives. Yeah, we are not kind of bringing those to light, and those are obviously affecting us in this case. Yeah, and that is not to say that we should blame solely that or look for excuses, but we should accept that there are things that are affecting us, that are kind of influencing our decision, and things that we don't have control over. Yeah. And the more we accept that, and the more forgiving we are, the better we will feel.
So, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope you learned something from it. That's it for today. But before I leave, I'm going to give you the 3 countries that I talked about earlier in the program. So I'm going to offer 1 free therapy session to 1 person from Peru, France, and Rwanda. So if you're from these 3 countries, simply go to my website and find my email, or it's info@wherapy.com, and just send me an email saying that you're interested and tell me a little bit about yourself, whether you've been to therapy before, what you're hoping to get out of a free session with me, and I will get back to you. Obviously, it's first come, first serve. So get going. Send me an email. And I hope to hear from you. Otherwise, have a great day and take care of yourself.